Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Tyler Weiskup here from NFM headquarters with the Titan of Talk, Becca Sudbeck.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Becca. And Hilary Waltemath, Visual Display General Manager.
Hey.
Hey, Hilary. And today we're going to be talking about questions that I have for my own home, specifically my doggos, Scott and... oh my God.
That's our producer. He's not a dog. He's a producer.
Doug Scott.
It's a quick sidebar. We had some neighborhood kids when I used to live in an apartment, and they were in the apartment complex anyway. They would call him Scott every single time that they saw him. They'd be like, "Hi, Scott." Should we just restart?
No, I thought that was good.
No.
Okay. Well,
good story.
anyway, Scout and Rupert are my dog's name. But we're here. Sorry, we're rambling already, but none other than Flooring Service Manager and our guest podcast expert on all things dogs, Mandy Schmitz.
Thank you for having me back.
Of course. And as a reminder, our guest hosts are NFMers with home life passions that we're going to be bringing onto the pod from time to time to answer questions. But before we get to that, let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast, and that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life. Learn more at nfm.com. Okay, so Mandy, I threw out a bunch of questions to you of things that we might potentially want to talk about, and you selected two topics. So first up is the dog days of summer is what we're going with. And sometimes, it's hard. Sometimes it's not safe to take Scout and Rupert out for walks. So curious to ask you this question. What are some ways to keep my boys physically and mentally stimulated when it's this hot outside?
There are lots of things, and you already brought up the first thing on my list was safety. Mm-hmm. I lead with this one because I see it too often, specifically working here. Do not leave your dog in a car.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know really the only supposed safe times are going to be when it's between above freezing and 70 degrees. So people think 70 degrees isn't necessarily warm at all. Mm-hmm. But they've measured it, of course. And on average, within 10 minutes, 70 degrees turns into 89 minutes. This is even with your 89 degrees. And this is even with windows cracked. And within 30 minutes, it's already 104 degrees. And obviously that dramatically increases with each 5 degrees can keep increasing. So just please do not leave your dogs in a car. Windows cracked does not do nearly as much as you think.
Yeah, well, think about yourself sitting in your car
Yes.
at that temperature.
So hot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just with the sun coming in. It doesn't matter if it's not that warm, the sun warms
Black
it up
interior,
so much.
yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, no.
exactly. And what's so funny is, as I thought of these topics, too, that we were talking about, so much connects back to humans. Mm-hmm. And I think in a lot of ways dogs do, but it's safety stuff is definitely, it's the same thing. I thought of you specifically with heat when it comes to heat, brachycephalic dogs, also known as short-nosed breeds,
Smushy faces.
pugs, French bulldogs, English bulldogs. The list can go on and on, but they can overheat much faster than your average dogs. So that's something to be extra mindful with them. Keep humidity in mind. Again, everything's coming back to humans. They can have heat stroke. There's a lot of signs for that. Another thing to be mindful of, we think of it in terms of clothes, but for them, they're fur. If it's a black dog, it's going to absorb heat and overheat faster. If you have a white dog, they actually make white short-haired dogs, should I specify. They make sunscreen for dogs. And
I never thought of that.
your dog can get sunburned, actually. And in general, just limit exercise on hot days. Is the asphalt too hot? The general rule of thumb is the 7-second rule. Put the back of your hand on the asphalt for 7 seconds. If it's too hot for your hand, it's too hot for their paws. don't walk them during those times. On to the fun stuff.
Yeah.
But it's
How
good
do
to
you
be
entertain
safe.
them when,
It's
when
good
you
to be
can't
safe.
take them out? Yeah.
Exactly.
And these are the reminders that we need to know. This is what the dog days of summer stand for in the context of what we're talking about.
People
So
like
thank
to
you for
think
bringing
about
all
it
that up.
in fun ways,
Uh-huh.
but there's the safety factor in all of it
Yeah,
as well.
for sure.
Walking your dogs, obviously, because of the heat, you should be mindful and try to do it in the morning or evening. Let them walk on the grass if they can instead of the asphalt. That's so much better for them. And let's be real, there's normally more fun things to sniff in the grass. There's a lot of water fun things that they can do. There's pools. If you have a dog that likes swimming, that is amazing. It's so entertaining, and you have a lot more options of things to do. You can get, they make dog pools. They're basically like human pools, but they have thicker lining, so they're not going to get torn by their nails. You could also get like the hard plastic-sided kid pools that are like $10 or $15. I always have one for a dog. And they can wade in them, or they like to pot them a lot. There are also in public pools that'll do doggy days, basically, or doggy dips. They're coming up
Before they
in
close.
Omaha.
Yeah.
So it's actually this weekend. So by the time this airs, maybe not this weekend. Sorry, guys. But there's 2 different pools in the Omaha area that are offering it this weekend. And it's just a ton of dogs, and they all get to go swimming with their humans if they want to go into. Sprinklers are always really fun. I like to stress, don't use your own like built-in sprinkler system unless your dog is good with that, because my dog will attack it to the point I've destroyed sprinkler heads and had to replace them.
Yeah. Well, I think they're pretty like aggressive too. Like the spray on those.
So there's that. But there's also like the little kids sprinklers that you get for summer that are a lot of fun. They have like those at-home splash pads for kids kind of thing that are really fun.
We've got some of those we've got a
yes, I've seen them.
Splash pad for in NFM. We've got some, but I have some for my personal dog. I have some. I'm curious, Mandy. We're talking about like the sprinklers and like the attacking. What is that about? Like, just as context, do you know what that is?
It's just some dogs get very excited about water and they want to attack where it's coming from. It's just some of the same thing with the hose. You can use a hose with your dog too. And they will go at it way too much. I don't know the backstory as to why. But some dogs, it's like to a point of an obsession that you're like, maybe we shouldn't do water fun at all unless the water is not moving.
Is it bad? Like if you have the spray nozzle and they're like going after it that way, like I'm not gonna waterboard my dog, right? Is that
that would be wise not to do. But some dogs may just do it themselves. They're really
They like
the
that.
ones really into it. Yeah.
He likes it.
They actually make a really cool, like I call it a dog sprinkler. It's like a dog water fountain almost. It's like this big pad that they press on and it shoots water straight up. So that's fun for them to attack. You can honestly take your dogs to public splash pads too. I always say be mindful of children and is your dog good with kids and stuff like that. Besides that, there's lots of non-water things to do. Food motivation, there's like, you can freeze their favorite toys. Some dogs are much more motivated by toys than food or treats. But you could freeze in their favorite treats or toys in like a large block of ice. My dad is cheap. He claims that, like proudly claims it, so he could not be offended by this, but he would always cut down like the gallons of milk, like cut the top off, and then you can use that to freeze things, and you would put that in coolers. But
there you go.
I would do it with dog stuff, put the dog toys and stuff like that in it, and you can just put that outside and let them lick it till they get to the prize, essentially.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Besides that, there's a ton of frozen treats that you can make at home. I have a bunch of silicone ice trays. Of course, mine are dog focused, but you can buy a ton of those everywhere, and you can make your own. I always put like watermelon or blueberries or something and cover it in either like goat's milk or bone broth, pet safe bone broth. Let me stress that. You don't use human bone broth for dogs.
Yeah, human bone broth.
Yeah, that would be nice.
This is the kind that humans eat.
Yes, clarify.
Different
Not
podcast. We don't fall under that category.
We're technically approaching spooky season, so. You can freeze their meals. A lot of people don't think to do that. One, you're going to slow them down, which is probably good. But it's the mental stimulation that I've talked about 1,000 times. All the indoor enrichment, too, like, those are all great things to do. I know last time I talked about, like, Kongs and puzzle toys and licky mats and shred items where you can put treats in boxes or paper towel, like, rolls and fold down the sides. You can play Find It in your house, too. Like hide treats and let them try and figure it out. Some dogs are better at it than others.
Yeah, it's hilarious when they're not very good at it.
And you know, it's like an Easter egg. Like, I hope I remember where I left.
Right. Yeah.
those.
Yeah. Bruce is like, my pug goes nuts for carrots. Like he over a dog treat, like he recognizes the bag, like he knows the chop sound, like, and so we started like buying the like big whole
ones,
carrots and I don't know where we somewhere on the internet, TikTok something, but like soak them in broth for a little bit and then freeze them, and then he has this like carrot popsicle that he just goes absolutely nuts for. So it's like, and it, like I think a bag of those carrots is like $2 or something like that too. And
I do it with actually celery. One of my dogs, this is the only thing apparently she doesn't like. I was shocked. She doesn't like celery because she'll eat anything. But I just did, like ants on a log when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I did peanut butter with like blueberries on top and froze it. And it's supposed to take them a long time, but if you have a bully breed, it's probably not going to take that long.
2 jumps.
Yeah. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do with that. One thing I didn't mention, I think last time, an enrichment item that's cheap and easy. If you just get like a towel and you throw treats in it and you like roll it, depending on the skill level of your dog too, you can roll it way tighter or tie it into knots and stuff like that, and they have to figure out how to get into it and get a treat. Besides that, I know that there was another one that I was thinking of that I am brain farting at the moment. Oh, the muffin tin. I'm sure you have seen this.
With the tennis balls.
Tennis balls, yeah. Just get a muffin tin, put treats at the bottom, put tennis balls on top. Super easy.
Oh, wow.
Concept, but it's just mental stimulation. Exhausts them, fortunately.
I feel like they sell dog puzzles that are kind of
They
the
do.
same thing, and this is like
It's a cheaper
Household
version.
items. Yeah, like the towel one. You just
It's
take any
so
old
easy.
towel and roll it up, knot it up, or whatever, and it.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh,
I have
that's clever.
Yeah.
way too many things at home. Like I hope it's embarrassing probably. Like my freezer, there's a shelf that's mine. And the rest is the dogs. And I have a whole pantry full of like dog treats obviously, but a bunch of like puzzle feeders and licky mats and all these things to slow them down and mentally enrich their lives. But it makes them tired. And if you can't walk your dog, you need to be able to give them some sort of outlet. Another great thing is if you have the time and can afford to do so, if you can do training classes for your dogs, most of those, especially in the summer, are going to be held indoors. An hour training session, like group training session, your dog is knocked out for the rest of the night when you get home. Unless it's dinner time, of course, then they'll wake up. But you can do at-home training stuff. There's YouTube videos and stuff like that. I'll do doggy push-ups. It's like the sit, down, stand up, like keep going up and down kind of thing.
Yeah.
Simple, quick, and easy mental stimulation. It can tire them out. There's indoor dog sports that they can also participate in. I know agility can be outdoors, but it can be indoors as well. And that is exhausting. If you have a dog smart enough to do it, one of mine is not. I feel like I insulted him last time. I should not insult him 2 podcasts in a row. They're honestly, even taking your dog on a car ride, if it's too hot, like that's just something different for them to do. Assuming your dog likes car rides.
Is this variety thing super important? Or they like dogs like to do the same thing every single day? Of
Hey,
their life?
some
variety show.
Don't mind.
Yeah.
But There's also a lot of like products that you can buy, like cooling mats and beds. If you are going to keep them outdoors, not live outdoors, please,
Yes.
but keep them outdoors while you're hanging out outside, you can put a cooling mat out that they can lay on, and that will help keep them a little cooler. Obviously, providing shade helps. They have cooling vests, harnesses, collars I've seen, bandanas and everything like that you can put on them while they're going on walks. And another thing that I failed to mention in the beginning would be, if you are going to take your dog on a walk in crazy heat, assuming that they can handle it, get the boots. I've
And
seen
hilarious to watch them walk in also.
yes, it helps. I mean, a lot of people think winter for them,
Yeah.
but it works in summer as well. Because if you've ever seen their pads burnt, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Plus, that's how they function, essentially. So it is very helpful. Have you seen the videos of the? Oh God, why am I brain farting? What they're called? Crocs. The dog Crocs. They make them for real dog Crocs now.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Scout and Rupert need some Crocs.
They might. They just might.
You can get a
So you
knockoff
some
brand. No one
gibbets
will
on there
judge.
too. Or
Yeah. There's a
They
whole,
do. I've seen
like branding opportunity.
Yes.
Oh,
here,
wow.
Tyler.
Wow. Yeah. Because I've been wondering about, talking to Jennifer about like influencing. I mean, I think this could be an opportunity.
right?
Croc
Scout-
dog.
Rupert could be a little dog influencers.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Crocs and what gibbets and what. That's my ticket in. Okay,
Exactly.
Mandy. I'm sure you have more to go over but I feel like we've gotten so many good things here for what to do when it's hot outside these dog days of summer to kind of entertain your dog. I'd love to pivot. You also prepared some information for the second topic that we previewed here at the beginning, and I want to make sure we leave some time to talk about. No, you're good. You're
Probably more
perfect.
important,
I think. Hey, please send this stuff. I feel like we can include like even more like additional Mandy notes, show notes at the end of it. But my dogs are getting a little older, and this one I'm very, very interested in. How can I help better manage their aches and pains?
I will put this out there as a disclaimer right out the gate. I am not a veterinarian, obviously. I work at Nebraska Furniture Mart, and we don't staff veterinarians here.
Not
Yet.
typically. Not
Yet.
typically. Oh, yeah, it's a good idea.
True. We like to bring on new product categories. But if you ever see your dog showing any sort of pain or limping or anything like that, I would strongly advise to take them to a licensed veterinarian. But there are a lot of things that you can do at home for it. Obviously, you've probably heard a lot of dogs, especially large dogs, get arthritis in their hips, knees, shoulders, elbows. And there's hip dysplasia. They can obviously have injuries to a variety of things as well. My dog tore the dog equivalent of his ACL. That's not a cheap surgery. But these are things, this is why you take your dog to a veterinarian. And on top of that, they don't always display that they're in pain.
They can't tell you.
Yeah, so something to be mindful of and keep an eye on. Number one thing for your aches and pains, weight management. I know that, again, for humans. I will say it is a lot easier to control your dog's diet than your own, though.
It's true.
So my dogs are perfect weight. I could use some work, but you can just scale back their food just a little bit, and that can help. It's super simple, especially when you have small dogs. I can cut back Callie, my 9-pound dog's food, and like in a meal or two, I'm like, she's at the good weight now. I wish I had that life.
Oh, yeah.
But low impact exercise, like frequent short walks as opposed to like one really long walk, is good. Swimming is a really good low impact exercise if you actually have a real pool that they can swim in. There's a lot of supplements out there, and I'm kind of a holistic freak when it comes to supplements and dog nutrition. Fish oil, the omega-3 fatty acids can reduce inflammation in joints.
And they love that one.
Yep.
Like, is it?
It stinks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Smell it
Yes.
better.
That we've.
It's fish oil.
Our foster is on a whole like slew of medicines right now, but the fish oil you could just like hand it to her and she'd like it's a treat.
Yep. They can be in like gel capsules or like in a liquid pump type thing.
Oh.
But they
Bottle
also
of fish oil that I just
Yeah.
squirt. Oh.
dude, it's don't get it on
tongue
yourself.
out.
Yeah.
Oh.
I personally go to Trader Joe's and I get like the sardines in water and like give it to them. They're the stinkiest things ever, but they're like $1.99 and they go pretty far. Green lip mussel is very, very helpful for them. Natural eggshell membrane. So this is like the membrane on the inside of the eggs. So you can feed your dogs raw eggs. Let's just start with that. But you could also, whenever I do feed my dogs raw eggs, I just peel out that membrane and just throw it in their food. And that can help quite a bit with joint pain and everything like that. There's powdered supplements available too, but
If you don't feel like peeling egg membranes.
Yeah. Well.
you just accept that you're going to get messy in meal prep in the holistic food world.
You know, I mean, I like to think that I take good care of my dogs, but I also don't spend 20 minutes preparing their breakfast.
I do.
So.
But that's why you can buy the powdered thing. You just dump it in with the scoop and then you call it a day.
Yep.
All right.
Um,
I'm glad we can live in the world where there's
yes.
those two
Oh,
things.
just will
Convenient.
cost you more. It's the only thing. Turmeric is really good for them. I've made a turmeric paste. My God, have you talk about staining things orange?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not going to come out.
Yeah. That would be what I would buy personally. There's glucosamine supplements, CBD oil that can help with anxiety. It can help with a variety of things, but it can help with pain quite a bit. So that is very nice to have. And you can't overdose them on CBD oil, which is nice.
Okay.
But there's a variety of other products out there. You can also do physical therapy if you can afford it, or you can, I say this hesitantly, but you can research online and learn how to do physical therapy for your dog. But basically, they can show you how to do exercises at home where you're going to, like stretching and range of motion exercises. A lot of physical therapy for pets places, they do have swimming pools to put them in, or they have like those underwater treadmills. You'll see those a lot of times for like healing dogs, or it's really good to make a dog lose weight again. Obviously, you can go to the vet and get pain medications. You should always go to the vet first, no matter what, but I always look at that as like a more last resort.
If nothing else is working.
Exactly,
Yeah.
then resort to pain medications. There's holistic vet treatments like laser therapy, acupuncture. There's shockwave treatment and electrical stimulation. I don't know anything about those two, but I know about the first two. But there are a couple of holistic vets in town here. There's 5 Elements, and they offer all these services. Honestly, it's becoming more and more popular, the whole holistic veterinary route. So a lot of your average veterinary practices are starting to offer services like that as well. In your home, you can have ramps. I have them all over my house because of my senior, soon-to-be 13-year-old dog. Like I have ramps off the deck. I have ramps to the bed. I have ramps to my couch. It's obnoxious. But you can get orthopedic beds. There's a variety of things that you can do to help care for them. But number one, I always say, is that weight management, because that's... If you already have achy joints and everything, putting weight on it isn't going to
pressure off
help
them,
anything. Yeah. So that is the easiest thing, but little mini exercises, they don't need to do nearly as much as they
Right.
used to when they were young. Let them enjoy their senior retirement years.
Yeah. Get an early start on it, so
Okay.
those years are much easier.
Stop strapping a sled to my dog. Okay.
Yes.
No more doggy CrossFit.
Well, this is great, Mandy. Thank you so much. Obviously, we need to start wrapping things up, but I do have a Well, no, never mind. This was that was from my old script.
Want to know what?
So that was from my old script. So I think we covered it pretty well.
We did. Lots of helpful.
I want to thank you again, Mandy. Thank you, Becca, Hilary, and of course our producers Scott and Renee. And thank to everyone who's listening. Remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the I Am Home podcast wherever you listen. And to learn more about us, go to nfm.com where you can shop 24/7 for today's top furnishing styles. Till then, remember, home is what you make it.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hilary Woltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.